Hi, my name's Rain. Welcome to the GlassRoots virtual table at the NJPAC Kwanzaa Festival. So today I'm going to be telling you about African trade beads, and I'm going to show you how to make a slipknot necklace using the trade beads that we're going to talk to you about. So African trade beads were traded throughout the world over thousands of years, and there are still people today making African trade beads in the same way. We're going to show you a video of how an artist in Ghana is making African trade beads, and then we'll show you how to make our necklace.
Making, we have 5 types of beads. That is the traditional bead making. The first one, we call it recycled antique bead. That is the old broken one. We rearrange it nicely in the modifier. That is the finished product. And the second one also we call it recycled transparent bead. And that one we use broken bottles or empty bottles like this. Wash it nicely. After that, we smash it into smaller pieces. Then we get the chunks. And you can mix 3, 4, 5 colors. So now, I'll use my hands to fill them. And this one is ready for fire. When it's mild, we use these 2 pins. We use our left hand to press it this way. Use the right one to pierce the hole at the center of it. Press the bottom nicely. Turn it over and do the same thing. To become round like this. The recycle. Transparent.
That's a great use to recycle bottles, isn't it?
Yeah. And the third one also we call it recycled glass powder bead. And that one also we use the same bottles, but we pound the glass with mortar and a pestle, like what they are doing over there. And
Wow.
so now we are going to number 4. Now we use the same to design it outside the bead. So you can find the design outside, but it will never come so, because we use the same glass to do the outside design. And the 5th one, special for chiefs and the queen mothers. And the name of that bead is called Bodom bead. If you wear a bead or a necklace, you have to put big one at the center of it. And that one will attract people to see the type of bead that you wear. In our culture, the type of bead that you wear will show how important or how wealthy you are. And I would like to design one of the simple ones for you to see. The first thing you have to do is to build a firewood kiln. That is the oven over there. We use ant hill clay. That is the termite clay. Ant hill clay. I think you have seen a lot on the way. You know, the termite, they go deep into the ground, bring a good soil. There is a special saliva that they produce that makes the clay very sticky to stand for very high temperature without breaking. We use this wooden bag to make it round, press it nicely. We have different kind of shapes. Round, smaller bead, tilapia fish, cross, star. Before we have a very tiny one. You know, in Ghana or in Africa, our women wear beads on their waist. These are some of the type of beads that make it for them. We place it at the center of the mold before designing. So after tipping the first glass powder, I want all my lines to be straight and neat. Then I have to use my wooden pin to dress all the edges before adding new color to it. So now I'll make a round circle in it.
The same, that's amazing. It takes a lot of work.
So now Finish with the bottom part. What I did at the bottom, I have to do the same thing on top. So now this one is ready, and I have to fill it with the bead part. So this one is ready for firing, and this one takes 20 to 35 minutes, and it's about 600 to 800 degrees Celsius. Whilst the translucent one takes 30 to 45, 800 to 1000 degrees Celsius. So now we can go to the firing side, then you see how hot the kiln is.
Wow, that's how you polish them?
Yes.
It's all by hand.
Yes. The polishing process takes 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
And we use sand and water, just sand, to make it to and fro. So I would like to, this one is not yet ready, but I would like to pour a little bit of water on it for you to see. Put it on the table over there for stringing. Then it's ready for marketing.
So we're going to put all the beads on the necklace. Sometimes you have to kind of twist it around to make sure that it goes all the way through and comes out. You can put them on in whatever order you like, and if you don't like the way they look, you can take them off and put them back on again. A little twist. Let it go all the way through. So at GlassRoots, we do classes where students, kids, and adults can learn how to make necklaces and to make glass beads. I'm going to put it through the other end. And learn how to make things like necklaces and earrings and all sorts of different kinds of jewelry. So African trade beads were made into jewelry, and they were traded for goods all throughout the world. And we know this because when archaeologists go to sites where they see where the beads were made, they can trace through the minerals and the things that are part of those beads, and they can identify that the beads that were made in Ghana or in other parts of Africa were then traded and traveled around the world, because they find them in other sites all around the world where people were trading for special goods. And really only rich people could afford to have glass beads because it was so hard to make them. It took so many materials. I'm going to leave that one off. All right, so once you have your beads on your string, you can either just tie it into a regular knot. If you want, you can tie it into a regular knot and put it around your neck, and it'll hang like that. And that's fine. But if you want it to have a super fancy knot, you can make a slip knot so you can adjust it and make it right where you want it. So to do the slip knot, you're going to put your necklace on the table so it's kind of like in a circle. And in one hand, you're going to make a loop. And that loop should have a tail that's about as long as your hand. You're going to transfer that to your other hand along with the string. Make sure you have the tail from the loop. If you pull it, the loop should get a little bit smaller so you know you have the right one. And you're going to wrap it around the other two cords once, twice, 3 times. Try to keep the loops together. I'm going to do one more. And then you slide that back through the loops that you just made. Once it's gone through all 3 of those loops, you also put it through the first loop and you pull. And as you pull, it should turn into a nice slip knot. See how that knot like lays right against the thread? Mm-hmm. So you can pull the cord and you can make it smaller or bigger. Now we're going to pull it a little bit so we have a long tail on the other side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. You make a loop with a tail a little bit longer, about as long as your hand. You're going to switch it to this hand and hold it right against that string. So make sure you have the tail. It's the one that pulls on the loop. Wrap it to the back around once, around twice. Keep them lined up. Another time. Then you take that thread, that nice twine that you have, or cord, put it back through all the loops and pull. As you pull and keep the loops lined up, you get another nice slip knot on that side. So these 2 knots, you can put the beads in the middle. The knots will slip to make it much bigger so it can fit over your head. Then you can pull them to make it smaller so it goes right where you want it. So there's our African trade bead necklace. So you can use those knots to make necklaces anytime you want. And this is an example of a necklace that might have been used to trade for goods around the world over the last several thousand years. Thanks very much for joining us. GlassRoots has studios in downtown Newark, and we're open to do classes for children and adults throughout the year. And hopefully once we can see you again in person, you can come to our actual studios and make some glass with us. Happy Kwanzaa!